Hey y'all, this is JR, one half of the R&B representative. Shout out to my sister Naturally Elise, and this is the sixth episode of JR Stax Life. Now, the song that I will be discussing on this episode is "Green Onions" from Booker T and the M.G.s. Hey, uh, uh, hey, hey. A jam, ain't it? Just a jam. So this song was released on July 1962. It was number 3 on the pop charts and it was number 1 on the R&B charts. It was written and produced by Booker T and the M.G.s. And this was actually the second, supposed to be really not even a single, but this was actually the second single, to be honest with you. But technically, it ended up being the first single because it went from an A side to a B side. So I'm gonna get into all of that because it's a lot that went into this song, and we're gonna get into all the things. So let's get this started. So if you don't know, Booker T and the M.G.s were the house band of Stax. So this is 1962. So by this time, they had played with Otis Redding. They played for Carla Thomas. They played for Rufus Thomas. Like they played for everybody that was signed to Stax at the time. But they was also doing, playing for other artists just as well. You know what I mean? Because this is Stax actually just opening up as a label, so they're trying to get themselves out there, so they're playing for other people that's just not signed to the label. So this one time, they were in the studio playing for Billy Lee Riley, and they were supposed to do this song with him, but unfortunately he got sick and he couldn't finish the session. So they had a paid session. So Jim Stewart was like, "Yo, let's come on, let's y'all go ahead and jam." You know what I mean? Because he actually wanted to put out an album over, with his band, because other labels didn't. Just saying. Hey, hey. But so they started to create and they created this song, and it was a slow joint, and they entitled it Behave Yourself. So Jim Stewart loved it because it sounded very country, it was slow and it was bluesy. And if you know Jim Stewart, you know that he loves country music. So that just got him. So he wanted this as a single. You know what I mean? But obviously he needed a B-side. So he was like, listen, y'all can come up with a B-side right quick, and we can send this record on out. So Steve Cropper, who is the guitarist of, the band, he looks at Booker T, was like, what about that riff that you was playing on the piano? And he was like, you play it a lot. So Booker T was like, okay, well, you got to let me know which one it is because it's so many riffs. So Steve sat by him and Booker T kept playing these different riffs. And Steve was like, that's it. That's the one. And then Steve was like, okay, let me get my guitar. He started playing his guitar, and the band came in, and then they made Green Onions. And that's just how it went. So Jim Stewart was like, well, y'all listen to it one more time. Do y'all like it? They was like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They looked at it like they wasn't really impressed. But Steve Cropper was like, there's something maybe special about this record. So they went, the A side was Behave Yourself, B side was Green Onions. So Steve sent it to his DJ. He went down and went to the radio station and played it. And it was like, okay, the DJ put on Behave Yourself. But while Behave Yourself was playing, Steve was like, yo, listen to side B and tell me what you think. And the DJ loved it. He said, wait a minute. On air, he stopped playing Behave Yourself and put on Green Onions. And when he put on that record, the phone lines went crazy. Nuts. You hear me? Everybody was calling in, and that's when they knew they had a hit. And Steve had to go back and tell Jim, like, y'all, Green Onions is it. Like, we have to make this song a single. So Jim was like, okay, we'll make it an A side and make Behave Yourself a B side. And Green Onions begin to be a single, and it flew through the roof. And it's one of the best instrumental singles that we ever had of all time, just for that moment. And that just goes to show when you think your song, your side A, the song you think is going to be a hit, might not be, and you flip it over, and that's the song that hits. Just ask Salt and Pepper about Push It. Just saying. But yo, it's so much fun facts about it. But the one fun fact that I'm gonna give y'all is the name. So green onions, the original name was Funky Onions. And the reason why they named it Funky Onions because Jim asked them, well, what y'all want the song to be called? And Booker T and them wasn't really impressed by the record, so they was like, call it Funky Onions. Because it's something that's nasty and you can throw away. Because they really didn't care about the joint. It was like, okay, we did it. It was gonna be the B-side. Probably ain't gonna get no love anyway. You know what I mean? So but Jim's sister Estelle, who's also the co-owner of Stax, was like, no, I don't think that'd be a good idea because it sounds like a curse word. So they was like, okay, well, we'll call it green. So they called it Green Onions, and that's how they got the name. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy how things happen? You know what I mean? But I want to let y'all know the players that played on it. So the organ was played by Booker T. Uh, Steve Cropper played the guitar. Al Jackson played the drums, and Stettenberg played the bass. So those are the players, just four of them, and we got Green Onions. How talented and just amazing that was. Just these four guys played that record, and it's one of the best instrumentals ever. How about that? But 7 people actually sampled the record, but over 40 people covered it. And two that I know of is one from the Blues Brothers, because they did it in 1980, and then the California Raisins did it in 1987, if I'm not mistaken. That's when they did it. So, but there's so many other people, but it is not the same. Like it's not like the original. The original Green Onions is Booker T and the M.G.s, and that's their record. And it's just crazy how the song might have not even got love if the DJ did not flip that over to listen to it and thought that it was a great song and it was better than the A side. So, yo, hopefully y'all enjoyed how Green Onions was created, and I will see y'all on the next episode of JR Stax Life. Peace.